Hello, everybody. Welcome to Factory Town Idle. My name is Rusty Champaign, and I will be your tour guide on this experience here. This game is available on Steam and is described there as an entire town builder experience packed into a living spreadsheet. And for me, being the huge fan of spreadsheets that I am, this game is pretty much right up my alley. Also, in the description here, it says you can build housing, assign workers, and then craft and sell a huge variety of items to level up your town and expand your civilization across the world. This game came out on Steam back on January 8th of this year. I got it. It was about $5 US, I would say. Right now, the reviews on this game are very positive. We got 90% very positive on 610 reviews, and recent 93% on 204 reviews. So here, let's just dive right into it. So this is what it looks like from the main screen. If we go here to the play button, you have 5 different save areas that you can save. As you can see, I've been playing this game for a decent amount of time. I've got like 10 hours into it so far and have my own city here that I've started. So we'll get a new one started here. And we'll call this Champaign 2 because I'm just that creative. So here we go. Here's our new city. So when you start out, we start out with our little town here. We got this little flashy button telling us that this is where we should go. But before we go there, we're going to take a look at the main screen here and see what we've got. So we start out in this area called the Plains, and every area in the game has its own like perks and possible drawbacks. And they also have their own unique resources. Now, at the beginning of the game, the only thing that you know about is the fact that we have the plains, because there's nothing else on the screen that tells you anything about any other areas that there could be. So, unless you read about it somewhere else, you don't really know too much. We also know that the only thing that we have here right now is trees. And there are like 930 of them here, and they would regenerate at a little bit over 15 per second if we were actually chopping them down. We also have an area here that has some quests down here in the bottom left, which will keep refreshing as the game goes on. So this first quest that we have here is to harvest 10 wood, and that will allow us to build houses, which is good because right now we have no workers. So it's just us as like the overlord out here in Champaign 2 in an area where we have 31 pieces of land because you start with 25 pieces of land, and because we're in the plains, we get 25% more land just by default. So that's how we have 31 pieces of land. And basically, everything that you build, just about everything that you build, ends up using land as a resource in it. So again, we have no workers, and there's no fulfillment in the town right now because there's nobody here other than us. So first thing we'll do here, we'll go ahead and we'll harvest 10 wood. So in order to do that at the very beginning, since we have nobody here but us, we're just going to go here and we're going to click this. And every time you click it, it generates a single resource. Now you can click it a number of times and that will work. You can also hold down the mouse button and it will click at its own speed basically. And you can just do that as long as you want and then just let go whenever you feel like it and it will obviously stop. So now we've harvested 34 wood as a result of that, which is good because that's more than the 10 that we need. And we can see that our quest down here is flashing at us, so we can go ahead and turn this in. And as a result of that, we've gotten what they call quest coins, and we can also now build a house, and we have a quest to build a house. Now these quest coins are going to come into play up here in this area here called world perks. So these world perks are going to be things that are going to basically make your entire world better. So they're going to make things work faster. They're going to gain you more money. They'll get you more experience. They're all good things. That's about the best way to put it. There's nothing bad that can happen here. So these are just all things that are going to help speed up your experience as you go along. So since everything takes at least 2 quest coins, we're just going to kind of sit this on the side for a minute, and we'll come back to that once we get another quest coin. So now we have a quest here to build a house, and if we finish that, we will get another quest coin. So in this game, everything that you build starts out taking a certain amount of resources, and then as you go along, the number of resources that you need will continue to go up and up. So right now, we only need 4 logs to build our first house, and it will take up a piece of land. So we'll go here, build a house, and as we'll see, our land has dropped to 30 because we built a house, which now also has given us 3 workers to use. And those workers will come into play as we start building other things. So now we'll come down here, build our house, gives us a quest coin, and now we have a quest to build a harvester hut. So we'll click OK there. So now we're going to go up to the world perks. And one of the first world perks that we're going to do, just to give you something to see, first one we're going to do is we're going to put a point into more starting land. So this will give us an additional 10 land every town for every town that we have. And again, there's nothing that tells us that we're going to get more towns right now unless you look it up somewhere else. So right now we would normally start with 25 land, but this would allow us to start with 35 land because it gives you a bonus of 10. So if we look up here, we have 30 land right now, and if we put a point into here, now we have 43. So that will give us more land to build more things as time goes on. Also, as a result of that, we see that our resources have gone up. So we can now store more resources. And I believe that's as a result of the house that we've now had. Or it might be, no, I think that's actually might be a result of the, yeah, it's because of the land. So because of the land, we now have more trees in the area. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and build our harvester hut here. So we'll click on this, and as you can see, a harvester hut is going to once again cost 4 logs at the beginning, and those costs will increase as time goes on. So we'll build a harvester hut. We'll see that we're using some of our wood here. And every harvester hut is going to give you what they call 2 production capacity, which means that for every hut you build, you can do 2 units of production. Which we'll see in just a minute what exactly that means. So we'll go down here, turn in this quest, which gives us yet another quest coin, and now we can assign workers as our next quest. And that assign workers quest basically means that what they want us to do is to build 5 harvester huts and to then assign tree harvesters, and that will then give us a general store if we do that. So we'll get that started here. So we'll go ahead and we'll build some harvester huts. So once again, the next one will cost us 4 wood, and we'll build that. And the next one will cost us 5 wood, and we'll go ahead and build that. So now we're up to 3, and if we try and build another one, it's going to tell us that we can't because we don't have enough workers, because every harvester hut that you build uses up a worker, and since we only had 3 workers, we're now out, and we need to build more houses in order to get more workers. So we'll go ahead and build another house, and as you can see, the construction cost now is going to go up to 5 logs as we build more houses. So now that we have 3 more workers, we can go ahead and build 2 more huts. And that'll fill up this bottom quest here. Then the next thing we can do is we will go ahead and we will assign tree harvesters. And basically what that does is every harvester hut that you assign capacity to will basically just create wood by itself without you having to click it anymore. So right now we're creating 0.4 wood per second, which you can barely see there behind the giant pointing finger. And every one that you put in will continue to increase that that harvesting speed. Also, all of these skills increase in level as you go through the game, which by doing that increases the amount per second that you gather. So this was at 0.8 per second before, and now it's at 0.88 per second because we're at skill level 1. And if you press this button and hold it down, you'll see that that meter fills up, and now it won't fill up anymore because we're actually full on logs, as we can see over here. Because right now we can only hold 50 logs as a result of just where we are in the game. So we'll go ahead, we'll get ourselves 4 more harvesters, which just basically clears that quest up. So go in, turn this one on. So now we have another quest coin, and we can now build a general store. And the general store will do a couple of things. One thing that it'll do is it'll allow us to start selling things, and it will allow us to store more things, including logs. So we'll go ahead here, we'll click OK. So now all we need to do is build a general store. And if we look up here, we now see that we have yellow coins available. And those yellow coins are going to be used for a number of things. They'll be used, well, we won't spoil what they're used for right now. We'll just say, okay, well, here we are. We can start doing things with yellow coins. What could that possibly be about? So we'll go ahead here. We'll create a general store, which as we can see, that's going to cost us 10 wood to create, or to build. So we'll go ahead and build that. And now we've got a general store. And now that's going to give us a new quest to produce 200 yellow coins. And now we're going to build 10 houses as our next step. So the nice thing about the game in the beginning is that everything flows real nice, and they kind of start you out nice and slow and kind of get you built into things. So I mean, that to me, that's a real nice perk, is that it really kind of guides you. You're never lost in terms of what you've got to do or anything like that. It all flows really, really nicely. So we're going to go here. So these general stores and other buildings that are like it are going to basically be places where you can then sell things to get coins. So in this case, for every log that we sell, we're going to get a coin. So we're going to go over here and actually assign production to it. And once again, every general store produces 2 capacity. So since we have 1 store, that gives us 2 capacity here. So we'll go ahead, click this. So now we see that we're selling logs at the rate of 1 per second. Now, if you look over here, this shows you what the current demand is in the town for logs. So right now they're demanding 4.2 logs per second, and we're selling them at a rate of 1 per second. So we're not quite completely at demand on these. So ideally, we'd like to get this completely filled if we could. Another thing that we're going to do now is we're going to go up here to these world perks once again, and we're going to look at another world perk here called Market Sell Speed. So what this perk is going to do is it's going to allow us to sell more per second than what the default is. And that's a really nice perk, because there are a lot of things here that don't sell at 1 per second. They'll sell at like 1/2 per second. And so you'd need to have a lot of things in here to fulfill demand. You'd have to have a lot of capacity going to it. So increasing that sell speed is a nice thing. So we're going to go here to this world perk, and we're going to put a point into it. And so now we see that we're actually selling now at 1.2 per second instead of the 1, which is nice. So we're going to bump this up just because we can. And as you can see, we're now producing yellow coins down here. But we're going to bump this all the way up. And we can't bump it up any more than that because we only have 2 capacity because we built 1 store. So we'll go ahead and try and build a second store, which we can't because we don't have the houses. So we'll go ahead, build some houses. We have to build 10 houses anyway, so we'll just queue up a bunch of houses. And you'll see that the cost of these houses is going to keep going up as we do that. So we're continuing to queue them up. And then once we get to the last one, now you notice we don't need logs anymore. We need these new things that are showing up on the screen that at this point in time, we don't know what that is, but there's this new thing that shows up instead of where the logs were. And the houses are also going to take money to build, whereas they didn't need that before. So now we go down here, we can build our houses, and we've produced 200 yellow coins. So we got 2 things done. So now we can actually go ahead and claim both of these at the same time if we want, just by hitting this claim all button. And by doing that, it turns in both of the quests at the same time. So we got 2 quest coins, and now we can build the lumber mill, which is going to give us planks, which is what that thing was that we need to build houses now. So now houses take planks and they don't use logs anymore. And so that's how you can see how things continue to build as you build different buildings. They start out really small and they start out with like generic resources. And as you build more and more of them, they take more complex resources to build. And that's going to be just part of the entire structure of things as we go along. So we can build planks, and we have a quest now to build the lumber mill, and that's it right now for the quest. So we will go ahead, turn that in. So now we can see we have this lumber mill that we need to build, which is going to take the wood and turn it into planks. And then also at the general store, we can go ahead and sell planks if we wanted to, and that will once again give us more money. Now up here in the top, we also see that we have these different things that you can filter. So you've got buildings, which will just filter on like uh, literally just on like buildings, for lack of a better way to put it. So if right now, if you filter on that, the only thing that shows up is the house. If we look at harvesting, these are all the different things that you can harvest, which ties in with your natural resources. If we look at crafting, that's where you're actually taking your crops and turning them into other items. And then you have your markets, which is where you can actually go ahead and sell the things that you've crafted. And then it shows you the filters down here, and you can always just click the X to get rid of the filter and take you back to where you see everything. We can also see now that all of a sudden this area up here is blinking at us, which basically means that we have now leveled up and we are now a level 1 town. So how about that? Just sitting here and we've leveled up to level 1. How about that? Um, every time you level up, you're going to get 3 or 4 crates that show up here, and you can click them one by one, and you can click claim all and claim them all at one time. For this being the first time, I'll click them one by one. It's just so we can see what they all are. So the first thing that you're always going to get every time, you're going to get these purple diamonds, and you're probably wondering, well, okay, cool, what do they do? And those are actually town perk points, which we'll explain here in just a second. You're also going to get some more land. So in this case, we get 22 more pieces of land, and you're going to get a handful of coins. At this point, we're just getting yellow coins because that's the only thing that we can produce right now. And as you level up, you'll get more and more of each of these things. So we can go ahead, close that up. Now our fancy finger is pointing here. So these town perk points are very similar to the world perk points, but these are only going to impact this town. So in this case, these perk points are only going to impact Champaign 2 here. And then if there are any more towns that we have, which again, we don't know that we would do any more, hint, you do, but you don't know that right now. Again, unless you read about it somewhere else. Um, so these are going to do things like increase your harvesting speed. I can speak really. Harvesting speed, your crafting speed. You've got things that'll increase your construction speed, reduce your construction cost, help you sell things for more money. Um, Once again, give you more land on top of the land that you can get from the world perks. So the first one I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put in a point here in sell value, which means that everything that we sell, we're going to get 10% more than we would normally get. So if we look here, um, every piece of wood that we would sell, we would get 1 coin for. And every plank that we'd sell, we'd get 3 coins for it. So if we go here to world perks or to town perks and put a point in sell value, now all of a sudden we get 1.2 and we get 3.6. And that's not 10%. So there's something else that's coming into play there, but basically that's going to be giving us a nice little bump. So we're doing even better when it comes to coins. Also, you can see here now in our fulfillment section, we're now fulfilling at a rate of 24%, which basically means that of everything that we can sell, we're fulfilling 24% of what the town's demand is. And in this case, it's because we're fulfilling 48% of the demand on wood, and we're not fulfilling any of the demand on planks. So if we were to go here and build another general store, and then bump this up to 3, now we're at 72%, and this is at 36%. So ideally, you'd like to get that up to 100%, but right now there's nothing saying that we have to. It's just that if you do it, you make more money, and more money is always good, so you can't really go wrong with that. But we are going to get back here to this quest, so we're going to build a lumber mill because theoretically here we need some planks. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some planks. So we're going to build a lumber mill. And as you can see, every time this little line goes yellow, that means that you were using up more of that resource than you're actually producing. So in this case, that line went yellow because we were using a bunch of wood to make that lumber mill, and now it's going back to green because now we're actually producing more than we're using. Go in here, turn in this quest. So now we have a new quest to produce 200 planks. And once we reach town level 2, then we'll be able to get something as well. And we need to build 15 houses. So again, as you can see, the quests start to ramp up a little bit more. And it's all real gradual, which is really nice. So we'll start working on those. So the first thing we can do, produce a couple hundred planks. So to do that, we take our lumber mill, which again, every lumber mill produces one capacity. So you can get one capacity per lumber mill. So we'll go ahead and we'll point a point in here. And as you can see, the lumber mill doesn't produce many planks per point of capacity. We're only producing 1/4 of a plank right now. So let's go ahead and build a couple more lumber mills. And as you can see, they take logs and they take coins and they take workers. And everything takes land, just about. I don't know if there's anything that doesn't take land, but I think just about everything does. So we'll go here, put a couple more points in here. And so now you can see at this point, we're now actually using more wood than we're producing because we're using wood down here while we're selling it, and we're using here to make planks. And this will eventually turn itself around just because we'll continue to produce more and more wood as this skill goes up. But for now, we'll go ahead and we'll just put another point into production there in that harvester hut. So now we're back to green, and that's we're producing more than we're using again. So we're slowly but surely producing planks here. We could do a couple more lumber mills just for the fun of it. I mean, no harm, no foul on that. And we should be able to do that and not use up all of our wood in the process. And we're still at this point where we're producing more than we're using, but that will turn itself around now. So we will go ahead and actually at the same time bump this up once again. And we'll have to do it one more time, which makes sense because this is going to be rising. This skill is going to be rising, which is going to cause this to rise, which is going to then, this is going to be rising quicker than this is because this is level 2, this is level 11. And so the levels get slower and slower to level, as is the case in every game there is. So we're about halfway there. We've now hit level 2 in our town. Hooray! So we will go ahead and claim our bonuses here. And I'm just going to do claim all. So again, got some land, got more coins than we did before, and we got 3 town perk points. And we'll go down here and click this quest. And so now we have more than wood in the town. Now we actually have stone to go with the wood. And we have a couple more quests when we reach town level 3 and when we harvest 100 stone. Most of the beginning levels, you get a quest to basically just reach the next level. I don't know if that stops at any point in time. I'm trying to remember if it does, and I honestly can't recall. So we'll see as we go, because I'm planning to do several videos of these and just kind of show you how everything grows as the game goes on. So hopefully there are going to be a number of episodes of this if people find it to be interesting, which I hope they do. So we'll see how that all goes. All right, so next thing we need 100 stone. So as you can see, now in the natural resources, we have stone, and we have stone available here under the harvester huts. So we will go ahead and we will click on here. So we're not producing stone very, very quickly. So we can build a couple more harvester huts, and we might as well do that because harvester huts are still really cheap. They still only take logs to build. So we'll build a couple more harvester huts. We'll build 3 more. And then we're going to put all of that production capacity into our stone. And so now we're at 1.75, which is pretty good. And again, we can do this, click this a bit, and that'll get the skill level up a little bit quicker. So we'll do this until we get to level 2 skill. just because we can. So now we're a little bit over 2. And now we can see we've just about finished this up to harvest 100 stone, turn that in. And now we have this new building called the stockpile, which if we look, now we have this new area up here called storage that wasn't there before. And if we click on that, now we see we have this stockpile. And if we look at this, the stockpile will basically hold 50 units of each of these items per stockpile that you have built. So right now we have 150 crops, whereas before we only had 50. And the reason that we have 150 is because also every general store that you build gives you 50 capacity per store. So we had started out with 50, and then we got 50 more for each of the general stores. So that's why we're at 150. So if we go down here and build a stockpile, which only costs money to build, doesn't cost any resources, doesn't take a worker, it just costs money to build. Now you can see our crops are going to slowly climb, our wood is going to slowly climb up to 200. And if we do this one more time, then we'll see this bar shoot back to the left a little bit like it does there. And now we need, now we'll have a capacity of 250 on that. We're just about to finish up all of our planks here, and we will turn that in. Once it clicks, there we go. And now the next quest is going to be to produce 2,500 planks. And that's something you're going to see in this game. These productions are they'll ramp up pretty quick. So you'll have some things as you get later and later where you need to, the first thing you're going to need to do is produce like 250,000 of the thing. So it's not always going to be produce 10 of this thing. It's going to be, the first one you're going to have is going to be like produce 250,000. Just because at that point it's like, okay, we know you can produce these things, so just go out and produce a lot of them. So what else do we need to do here? Oh, let's make 5 more houses. So now if we look, once again, these houses need planks and they need money, whereas before they only needed logs. So we'll go ahead, we'll click this 5 times, and that will make us 5 houses. And as you can see, it's slowly using our planks, but not anything significant. So we'll be fine there, and you'll see that once we're done, we're going to have 30 workers available, which is nice. It's always good to have workers to do stuff. And so now we finish that quest up. And now we have this new building called the school, which, hey, that's cool. What exactly does a school do? So if we take a look down here, we see that we will then get research if we build a school. And research sounds like it's a good idea. So, hey, let's go ahead and build a school. Schools take planks and they take money, and they do take a worker to have at the school because you've got to kind of have someone running the school now, don't you? So we go ahead, click this, turned it in. And as you can see, now we have a new menu called research, and we have a quest to complete 5 research, and we have a quest to build a workshop. We have this new perk called research efficiency, which will make research cheaper to do, which cheaper is always good. So now we have this new thing up here that's flashing at us called research. And if we take a look, we only have 2 things to research right now, but this will, you can take a look at all the things that are locked just to see how large this is. There's a ton of stuff here, an absolute ton of stuff to research. So that just gives you an idea of the depth of the game here. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of it. So right now, every school that you every school that you build will give you 1 additional capacity. So right now we only have 1 capacity, and it's available because we're not doing anything with it. So we'll go ahead and build a second school. Because both of these things that we need to research, if we wanted to research them, which we will because there's no reason not to, each of them can hold 2 capacity to research them. The total time to research is listed here. That's 30 seconds, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. And this is what you need to research it. So it's going to take 100 planks and 1,000 yellow coins in order to do it. And we should be pretty good because we've got 250 planks and we've got 4,000 yellow coins. So that won't cause us any issues. So we'll go in here, we'll research this. And the workshop, we need to build the workshop anyway as part of another quest. And if you see this workshop will then allow us to build other things, ideally with the wood, and also some with the stone. So we'll go ahead and research this with our two people that are at the schools. And so this will slowly tick down. And once it gets, and also every person that you put into research at that particular location will cut that amount of research down, um, by you basically take the time and divide it by the number of people that you have researching it, and that tells you your research time. So in that case, it took 30 seconds to research it, but because we had two people there, it only took 15 seconds instead of 30. Same thing would be true with the masonry. If we have two people researching here, then that will only take 22 and a half seconds instead of 45 because you got two people there. So now we have this new building, which gives us the workshop, and it will immediately give us the ability to make wood wheels, cool, and shovels, also cool. And we have a new quest to build a workshop. Masonry, yeah, we might as well do that. I think we're probably fine on that. If we look at stone, yeah, we got 250 stone, and we still got plenty of coins in order to complete that research, which is going to take 2,000 coins and 200 stone. So we'll go ahead, put that in. We can see that both of these are yellow, which means that we're using, again, using those resources better, quicker than we are generating them. But in this case, we know we're okay because we checked to make sure that we had enough of both. And we do. So that will finish up in just under 10 seconds, and we will be good there. So now you can see, just by looking at it, things are really starting to kind of flesh out here. And we're going to play this until we get to level 3, and then that's going to probably be about it for this stream because we've been going pretty good here. So once this gets up to level 3, then we will call it there and go on from in our next stream and continue the growth of Champaign 2. Um, we can go back into the research, complete this research. If we had more than one thing that we were researching that was complete, you could go up there and hit claim all and claim them all at the same time. So now that we've finished what we were researching there, we now have the ability to build stonemasons and make stone bricks, which are going to be used for something at some point. We don't know what. We can research a quarry, which is also cool, and we can research a warehouse. And then we can build a stonemason and build a hearth as our new quests. So we can now research quarries, we can research warehouses, and we're starting to get a pretty nice fleshed out list of quests down here. So we got a workshop. We're slowly building our planks. Actually, we're not building our planks right now. And the reason we're not building our planks is because we're full and we're not doing anything with our planks. So we might as well go down here to the general store and start selling some of these guys. So that way we can actually keep producing more. Demand of planks is only 1.77, so we should be able to do this with one or two general stores. It shouldn't take any more than that. So now that we've made one additional general store, we can put one more into production capacity there. So now we are overfilling demand on planks. And that's actually, now we're not producing as many as we're using. So we're going to have to go here to lumber mills, build another lumber mill, and we can bump that back up. So now we are producing more planks than we're selling, which is good because planks, you're going to need planks for a lot of things. That's for sure. Um, you'll have times with resources where it's like, oh man, I got to go back, and you keep on spiraling back to fix things as you're using them. We'll see that more and more as we go along. But yeah, here we are. We have reached level 3. So we're going to go ahead here, click this. We're going to hit claim all. And we now have 5 additional town perk points. We have 21 more pieces of land. And look at that. We got almost 2,000 coins just from level 3. That number keeps getting bigger and bigger, as I said. We'll also go down here and click this. So as you can see, we got 2 quest coins for completing that quest. And now we also have the ability to harvest water, and we can research forestry. And we have a quest for getting to town level 4. So in a matter of 3 levels, we now have wood. So we have trees, which can produce wood. We have water springs, which can produce water, and we have rocks, which can produce stone. We have the ability to harvest wood and water and stone, and we have the ability right now to make planks and stone bricks and wood wheels and shovels. So pretty good for just getting ourselves started here. And this menu will just continue to grow and grow and grow as we get further along in the game. And our quests will continue to grow as we get further along in the game. Actually, you can finish them about as quickly as you'll keep getting them. So this list doesn't start to get too unwieldy as the game goes along. Um, but yeah, that's going to be it for this video. But yeah, this is a pretty good start, I would say, for our new town here of Champaign 2. Like I said, we're at level 3, slowly making our way up to level 4. We're starting to make some money here at a pretty decent clip. We'll next time around we'll get into these town perk points, and we'll get into these world perks and get them assigned. So that way we'll be able to start making things run a little bit quicker in our town. And we'll keep on working on these quests here. And as we get further along, I won't be going through as many of these long, detailed explanations of everything. But with this being the first video, I really wanted you guys to get a good view of everything that was going on in the game, so that way you could see pretty detailed step by step of all the things that you're seeing here on your screen. So that way, I mean, I could just very easily go in here, click all the buttons rapid fire, and not have that be all that useful. So hopefully just seeing everything on a step by step basis has kind of given you a pretty good feel for the way things go. But yeah, we're going to continue this playthrough over the course of many videos, and we will hopefully give you a good feel for everything in the game as we go along. And we'll see exactly how far we can get in this and how long it will take us to get there. Because there's definitely a lot to this game, which is really the cool part about it. With a lot of these games that are kind of idle clickers like this, it depends on how they have it built, and the way that they have this one built it's a really cool mechanic, and I really like it, and hopefully you guys do too. But that is it for this one. Hope you really liked it. If you do, feel free to like this video, and if you really like what you see, also feel free to subscribe. I can talk, really, I can. Um, Obviously, you don't have to do either of those things, but I would love it if you did, because that will hopefully help grow things. And like I said, there will be plenty more episodes of this, so you can stay tuned, and there will definitely be a lot more to see. And if you have other games that you'd like to see that are available on the Mac, because that's what I have. I don't have a PC laptop right now. Maybe one of these days I'll get one of those, but right now I have my MacBook, and it is what I'm using for these things. So if you have other games that you'd like to see, definitely you can leave me a note, and I can give those a try. Take a look at them, and we'll see if we can get them here on the channel as well. But that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a real good time. I am Rusty Champagne. Thanks again for sticking around, and we will see you later.